Set for Brawley. Pardon me, Bauman. I am doing that all day long. And a diving save. Oh, my. Flederer got something up on it. So did Cronkite. And Coach Heffern going to call a second timeout very quickly as the Heartland Hawks responding here in set number 4. Illinois Central hitting zeros. Heartland hitting .061. And this was 13-15, so a 6-point run for the Heartland Hawks here in set 4 to take a lead and try to force the money set, as I call it, the 5th set. That's trademark, by the way. No one else can use it. They have to pay me $5 every time they say it. Heartland hitting .061 in this set. They have 7 kills, 5 errors. But when you got Illinois Central, they've gifted you 7 points on those hitting errors. And you knew that the hitting percentage for these two teams, they're not going to be at their average. They know each other too well. You're never going to hit close to 200 for either team, which they're not. Illinois Central's hitting 132. Heartland's hitting .086. Because, again, it's the defense. Heartland has 12.5 blocks. I haven't even mentioned that. 12.5 blocks for Heartland, 6 for Illinois Central. Mannon has 7 of those blocks. And on the curl shot, did they call that down? They did for Bauman. I wasn't sure. I had to second guess if that was in or not. Bauman, her 11th. 3 blocks for her as well. They've credited Mannon with an 8. And an overpass and taken immediately, Brawley. So a 6-0 run for Heartland, and Illinois Central trying to respond. Cronkite serving. And a quick attack. Mannon finishes that volley with her 8th kill. Pippin has 21 digs, 16 for Conrad, 12 for Killian, 12 for Sanderson, all for Heartland. And that serve error by Sanderson. And on the other side, Cronkite has 30 digs. Feder, 17, 14, Emick, 14, Allison, 13, Teller. Next shot comes to the back. Wasn't sure which one that would be. 2, it was Teller that swung. Harper can't put it down. Far side, Allison, yes. Emily Allison. Coach Heffern called her timeouts almost consecutively. Coach Fromm has yet to use one. Ooh. And 4 hits. And Coach Fromm will call a timeout. And we're tied at 20s. So after the 6-0 run, it's a 3-0 run. And we're tied back. Actually a 4-1 run still. So the Heartland Hawks trying to push to a 5th set against Illinois Central for the 3rd time this season. The Heartland Hawks on the season, man, they played a lot of tough teams. We talked about it yesterday too. Against qualifying teams 4 and 7, wins over North Dakota SCS, Sauk Valley, Parkland, and Rock Valley, but lost to Kirkwood twice, Johnson County, who they could end up seeing here again if they end up winning, because Johnson County awaits the winner. Plus they had matches and losses to BMAC, Iowa Central, and Illinois Central twice. They lost Pippen for quite a while, which forces things to change for the Heartland rotation. Neither team had their setters all season long. You know, and again, you go back to the credit of the coaching staff on making it to this point when you've had so many different changes, lineup changes, rotation changes. Setters go down. It all leads to the national championship tournament. And if you don't think that the consolation round means something, go tell these young ladies down on the court that it doesn't mean anything. What a play by Conrad. And that is through the block. (21-20). Kill by Allison. She leads the team in that category right now. And answered right back, Mannon. And 21s. I mean, we might as well just go extra points for set 4. I mean, we haven't had extra points yet. We've been close. Plus, we haven't got to that pivotal 100 dig yet. We're close. Closing in on it. Illinois Central has 91. Tipped up and over. Teller. Harper swings. Far side, Cronkite again. Allison on the roll shot. And right back over is another one for Jansen. Boyette on the serve. Did she hit the net? Yes. Emick was trying to save that, and I believe her right leg kind of kicked out or kicked up, one or the other, and I think it touched the net. Or at least slid underneath of it for the net violation. Boyette, short serve. Allison, and a net violation on Heartland. Even the terrible towel swingers are tired. I see fatigue coming out of some of the fans. They can't even do it. Allison. Line drive serve. Harper on the receive. Comes back to her on the set. Can't put it down. Allison on the dig. Fletter can't put it home because, you know, Conrad made a play. Oh, my. And Harper. And they called that in. Now, I think Coach Heffern would like to challenge that, but the problem is that I don't think your camera, so again, the challenges are going to be by way of the net camera only, and I don't know if they're going to get this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, though. And the reason why is because this is from the camera up above. It's a 24-22. Our score, but so I'm going to look as well. I'm going to peek over Danny's shoulder real quick. Ooh, you know, you can kind of see it. However, there is a Cougar that is somewhat in the way. And so really slow it down. I know you can't see this. This is unfortunate that you're not able to see this through the program. That's out. We'll see what the official says, but my gut instinct would tell me that is a missed shot, and this should be overturned, but we'll see. I've been about 0 for 50 on the challenges. So for Illinois Central, Coach Heffern, and because of this, if you were to say, okay, where the pink and the black meet, that's 10-foot line. This is like the 12-foot mark. And because of that, they were able to look at it from the net camera. And Danny is slowing this thing down to a snail's pace. I might reiterate my call there. We should trust the intensity of the line judge over on that other side, though. The referee had a great bird's eye look at this. At first, I thought maybe a Cougar was in the way of looking at this. And they called it in. On my further review, I would have to agree. At first, I was like, I don't know, that probably is out. But once Danny slowed it down, I credit the officials, especially the line judges. Things are happening so quickly. And he got the call right. And that particular set, as we saw earlier with Emick, this time Pippin hits the net. So set point staved off for the first, but pour it back to serve.
The coach from the Hawks is challenging.
Well, Coach Fromm looking at that net violation and wants to look this over.
She's challenging that she was not in the net.
So if that is the case, then that would be a jump. We'd replay the volley if this is overturned. Order your official 2023 NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shopnjcaa.com to view exclusive national championship merchandise. Boy, that did not take long. Call stands. He must have looked one time. Saw that Pippin's foot. Big swing there. So Port sets that, and we're tied at 24s. Coach Fromm would have a timeout if she so chooses to use. She does not. And Port back to serve once again. 24s. Hey, I said we should probably go extras. We haven't had it yet. We're getting extras. Oh, my goodness. How in the world did Killian even get to that ball? And she sets it, does the tip. That's saved up, though. Porritt made an amazing defensive play. A block up front, and Illinois Central wins the point. And they're a point away from advancing. Some unbelievable dives. And do we have a timeout or a challenge?
The coach from the Hawks is challenging the pancake.
Okay, so Coach Fromm. Boy, we've slowed down to a turtle's pace here in this fourth set, considering we've had so many challenges. But looking this one over as well, I'm not exactly sure what Coach Fromm is challenging on this particular volley. Must be something with the net. Oh, no, I think she's saying that it did hit the floor. So the challenge was that, who was it? Fletter? They got the dive down? That's what we're looking at. So the challenge was the pancake made or not? Oof, that's awfully close play, considering, again, it's off the net camera, and you can kind of see her, but not really. Again, at home you can't. I'm trying to describe, but you can, on the net camera, you get a chance to kind of see what, for Fletterer going down to make the play. But her arm kind of goes out of view. 25-24. That was a tough one. That's a tough one to look at. And the call stands. So the pancake counts as well as the point. And pour it. Back in the serve. The southpaw to give Illinois Central the win. Oh my, almost an ace. Blocked. Did climb up and over. Push to the back, diving play once again. Allison, overpass, blocked up front, and the win. Bauman with the block. Well, why not a defensive play to end this match? 26-24, an amazing battle between these two teams, Illinois Central and Heartland. It's Illinois Central that wins. This broadcaster's sad, though, because we had 97 digs, not 100. That's how many Illinois Central had. 97 digs, that's on 8 blocks. Heartland had 82 digs and 13 blocks. Never in my life have I seen such a defensive effort made by both sides. I've seen it on one, not competitively like that, back to back. .090 is where Heartland hit. They had 43 kills. Illinois Central, 154. They had 58 kills. Individually, Mannon, 9. Sanderson, 8. Pippin, 8. And Harper, 7 for Heartland. Pippin finished with 23 digs for herself. Sanderson, 13. Harper, 12. Conrad, the libero, for Heartland at 18. Killian also, 12. Illinois Central, Allison had 17 kills. Bauman, 11. Teller, 10. Brawley, 10. And Teller had a double-double as she had 13 digs. And Allison also had a double-double, 18 digs, 17 kills. And how about Cronkite? 32. 32 digs for the libero on the back end. And also 5 for Bauman on the blocks, which no bigger than the solo she had to finish it out. Illinois Central advances, and they will play later this afternoon, and they'll take on Johnson County. And we'll have it for you right here on court number 1. For now, we have to take a timeout, and we'll come back and bring you our final consolation of this round. We still have consolation later with our quarterfinal consolation between Johnson County and Illinois Central. But we have Kirkwood and Richard Bland. You've been watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball National Championship here on the NJCAA Network. Welcome to the 2023 NJCAA Division II Volleyball National Championship Tournament here on the NJCAA Network. I'm Joel McCall, and we are inside the Alliant Energy Powerhouse in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's the consolation bracket. It's Richard Bland taking on the Kirkwood Eagles. The Statesmen survived yesterday, beating North Dakota SCS 3-2, with the final set going extras, 20-18. There's a battle of attrition for everyone involved, me included. Leilani Goggin had 22 kills. She hit 341, while Sarah Heath had 24 kills, but her hitting percentage was just 107. Plus, the team had 77 digs. On the other side for Kirkwood, after winning their first round matchup, which was technically the second round, and they win against Scottsdale last night, but boy, those early deficits were just too much. The Eagles won the first set 27-25, able to bounce back after being down early. However, Scottsdale put it on early enough in those next three sets where the Eagles lost 25-18, 26-24, and 25-21. Kirkwood hit 52 kills and a percentage of 118, but had their blocking game going. They had 14 block assists. Top hitters, though, Emma Cross, 14 kills, Lexi Hearn, 13 kills. However, neither one of them hit above 150, and that's just not going to get it done. You have to hit better and more efficient when you get into these types of matchups. And away we go with a long serve, which was also another issue yesterday for Kirkwood. They had serving errors. And Scipione back to serve for Richard Bland. That goes off of Leak. And there's a kill for Meester. We're tying 1-1. On the other side, we got one Iowa Community College Athletic Conference team on our court to our right with Kirkwood. The other side has both DMAC, Des Moines Area Community College, and Iowa Central going at it. Kill shot there for Sarah Heath, and yes. So Sarah Heath, and we'll see how things progress here for this matchup. Winner of this would take on the winner of that other court, Iowa Central DMAC, and that would take place tonight. We say goodbye to our consolation round next as we have our semifinals. Cowley as our next against Pensacola State. Two touch there called on Richard Bland. And then Severin back to serve. Libero steps in there, good serve. Set for Brown. Can't kill it off though. Far side, and that does work out for Meester again. So Emma Meester with a couple of kills for Kirkwood. And 3-2 to score. Goggin charging all the way up. Good up by Embertson. Tip up and over for Cross. Oh, we have a... they got Addison White into the net for Richard Bland. So that comes on Richard Bland, and Kirkwood leads 4-2. Brown on the near side this time. She works around and gets the kill. Gets that past Hearn. And Michaela Mitchell subs in to play that front. And Hinshaw back to serve. Playing off of Cross. And that shot long for Tegler. And back to serve is Hinshaw once again. Long drive played off of Hearn. Tegler through the block gets that kill. So a much better start for Kirkwood here. than some of the starts that they had last night against Scottsdale. Comes across and into the net. Yeah, I think that was actually touched on the net by Hearn. And so 5-5. Brown serving. We'll tie at 5-5. Tegler on the roll shot, or the curl, I should say. Ooh. And that set, because of how low it was, and it's a back set for Heath, you have to worry about how far up she could jump and how high she could jump too. So everything off on that. Leak to serve, Maddie Leak. Maggie is out of Prairie High School in Fairfax, Iowa. Lots of Iowa kids on this Kirkwood Eagles squad. And Morris comes away with a kill there. And Leak will serve again. That back rotation, Maggie and Addie, the staples, 3 rotation player on the outside. Coach Brown talking about that defensive work that he sees. That had some wicked spin off of it. And 2 touch call on Scipione. 2 of those already. And Heath had that go up on her. That didn't go anywhere else. And an ace serve. Well, you don't see that very often. A couple of misfires when it comes to communication off your sophomore star, as Goggin goes off the block of Morris, and a point for Richard Bland. Lonnie Goggin, I felt like, played fantastic yesterday in that win over North Dakota SCS. Side spin off that. Hearn, overpass. Tegler takes on that. For Kirkwood, and they lead 10-6. And Tegler back to serve once again. Not quite the big following that we saw last night for the Kirkwood Eagles faithful, as another ace serve, this time Tegler. Still a good crowd on hand for Kirkwood, but last night was much louder and prouder because it happened to be a night too. Goggin on a back set. Lake gets it up. Tip up and over for Gaffney. Free ball by Goggin. And Morris again with the swing and kill for Kirkwood. And Coach Champagne calling timeout. As it's 12-6, a double up time here in set number 1 for the Kirkwood Eagles, leading Richard Bland. How about that, too? There's the coaches talking. I went over to Richard Bland, and they're huddling up. There's Kirkwood, though. Look at that setup, though. You got the 4 coaches talking things over, and none of them discussing things with the players. Now Coach Brown slowly comes over and does talk to the whole group. Still rarely see that where the bench is full and then the other players go to the back. It's just an odd setup on their timeouts. Something I've really never seen before. Coach Brown discussing things with his group as they lead 12-6 here in the first set of our consolation round. Moulton is proud to be the official volleyball of the NJCAA and has generously provided all balls for all NJCAA Volleyball National Championships. Moulton for the real game. So Kirkwood and Richard Bland. And we've already secured our other match for the consolation. That is the quarterfinals, technically, a little bit later. I lost my bracket somewhere. That'll be Illinois Central taking on Johnson County. And that, Heath on the kill. And Phoebe Heath to serve for Richard Bland, subbing in. Ooh, and into the net. With the double sub. You know, one thing I didn't ask about the Coach Champagne, I meant to, was the shoes of Richard Bland. They all wear the same ones, and they're all wearing pink laces. There's got to be some kind of story behind that, too, but I did not get that from Coach Champagne. And set up for Heath, off the block, and a kill. That was off of Meester. All right, so Heath gets another point. They're going to go to her. They're going to continue feeding her all throughout the volume hitter. And back to serve will be Scipione. There you go. All Under Armour. All the same shoes. They're all wearing the same ones. The pink laces and everything. Was that touched? It was. Kill for Hearn. Independence, Iowa. Third team all-region. Remember, Kirkwood out without Michaela Howard. As Coach Brown said, quote, "We miss her." And that's all he wrote. As there's an overpass. Don't want to do that. Gaffney will take care of the overpass for Kirkwood, and they lead 15-8. Some of these mistakes that Richard Bland made yesterday kept North Dakota State College of Science in the match. And I felt like that thing probably wouldn't have gone 5 had it not been for some of the mistakes that the Statesmen made. Not to say that the Wildcats weren't playing well, but it's issues like the passing. I thought serving-wise yesterday was a real chore for Richard Bland. As Heath tries to get a big kill, Embertson dug it up. Meester mishits though. 15-9. We'll be back to Sarah Heath. Line drive, serve, and an ace off Emma Cross. Sarah Heath second in kills, third in kills per set, and third in points and points per set. Talked about her yesterday, the Region 10 Player of the Year. She was also the tournament MVP. And, you know, a 4-point student in the classroom, too. Brown. Well, if there's been somebody that's made a little bit more of a statement in their game for Richard Bland, everybody knew about Goggin, which she gets the kill here. And everybody knew about Sarah Heath. But I think Jaden Brown has played a really well-rounded tournament. Come off of Cross again, comes to her on the attack and out. Yes, good call by the official. That did miss. And Kirkwood calling a timeout. 15-11 as Richard Bland. There's Coach Champagne and company. Talked about her resume, a 2-time Hall of Famer. How often do you hear that? The first to ever go into the Owens Express Hall of Fame for a female. Austin, PA Hall of Fame. Her and Coach Dryden last year, national champs. What a story they had. Take over the program from Richard Bland, moved from Terra State in a snowstorm. They took over beach volleyball like a week later after they moved, and then win a national championship with Richard Bland last year. If I talk to him again, I'll have to tell him, and if you want to win another national championship, you're going to have two big things in your lifetime happen prior to, because you have to do everything in threes. That's what they did last year. Coaching job change, move, take over a brand new program, and then win a national championship. And back to serve will be Sarah Heath. Played off cross again. Yep, big swing works for Meester. So the timeout works for Coach Brown. They get a side out. So far in the match, both teams hitting really solid. Kirkwood's hitting .316, Richard Bland .312. Goggin. Well, we just saw with Illinois Central and Heartland a defensive effort. One that will stick out in my mind for quite a while, since the two teams almost combined for 180 digs in a 4-set match. And Illinois Central had almost 100. Here, it's been offense, offense, and offense, as that's Emma Cross with another kill. Extreme hard worker, embraced the amount of swings, aggressive, explosive, and we aren't here without her, is what Coach Brown said about Emma Cross. The product out of Waukee, Iowa, went to Des Moines Christian High School. I don't remember how big Des Moines Christian is. If that's one of the, there's a couple of private schools around Des Moines, and one of them I think is pretty small, and another one that's fairly large. Waukee, though, is one of the growing suburbs of Des Moines. The state capital here in Iowa. We're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and that is Goggin on a kill. Jaden Brown back serve. They're still hitting over 350 each. Again, Severin getting a pass out of that. And a light push by Tegler, but it worked. Brown could not make the play. And 18-15. I'll keep tabs on the other side. I'm sure Dwayne Cook will send me scores of DMAC and Iowa Central. I believe Iowa Central is leading over on the other side, 17-11. Here we have 18-15 Kirkwood. Goggin, a rocket. I mean, her line shots are so tough. Oh, they called that out. Must have just missed the line. I thought that was in. We'll go back to Goggin. And she missed on this side. That was a clear miss. And Maggie Leak doing some work on that service line for Kirkwood. Those back-to-back hitting errors puts Richard Bland at 250. And the serving there. Teams are about even in that too. One ace, one error for Richard Bland. 3 errors, 2 aces for Kirkwood. Melanie Goggin back to serve. And an ace serve. Leak could not get it up. Goggin once again for Richard Bland. Morris, yes. Took it off the block for the lefty. Out of bounds. And Ava Morris back to serve. Oh no, I thought that was, it's Tegler that's back to serve, pardon me. Thought Morris was leaving the front line, and Sarah Heath answers saying it's a side out quickly. That took Tigler out, and back in the back is Van Severen for the defense. Lageter back to serve. We did not see Jordan yesterday, so getting a chance to serve here at the national tournament. Not sure if he played the first day or not. And that is mishit and out of play. And that was Addison White. We've got like a triple change going on here for Richard Bland. Mitchell in and then out. Subbing back in is the libero. Henshaw. And then Donovan come in. So all kinds of changes. And Heath targets Van Severen and put that one down. Currently, though, Kirkwood's hitting 400, just 3 errors. Sarah Heath, the high volume. He's up to 5 kills on 8 attacks, 1 error. Scipione back to serve. The setter. Played off of Leak. Hearn. Goggin in a back set and got the kill. Embretson had to go into the netting in between the two courts. And Kirkwood calls their second timeout for Coach Brown. 22-20. Close match going on here. Set number 1. As there's the Kirkwood Eagles. And Coach Brown taking over for Coach Williams, as we talked about yesterday. Getting a W in the first round over Heartland. They were a wild card, lost to Iowa Central in the Region 11 semifinals. Coach Brown talked about their serve and pass. You know, and they really miss Michaela Howard, one of their stars that got hurt from Clinton, Iowa. Big hitter. You know, she was averaging almost a little over 3 kills per set. 264 was her hitting percentage. So they're going to expect big things out of their outside hitter next year for Kirkwood after getting hurt last year, or this year, I mean, and not able to finish the season. And more than likely, you know, she ain't going to be able to be a red shirt or anything like that. Scipione back to serve. Lake on the return. Hearn jumps into it and gets it off the block. 23-20. Kirkwood a chance to go up by 1 with this first set. Henshaw on a pretty nice pass. Heath can't get it down though. Great dig by Hearn. Free balled up and over by Cross. Heath, line shot. Van Severen saves. And then Cross saved it at the scores table. Heath again. Through the double block. Finds the floor. And Statesman keeps it away from being set point. And Sarah Heath will go back to serve once again. Almost an ace. Embretson, good on her to get something. Goggin, yes. Van Severen couldn't make the dig. And Richard Bland right back into it. Remember, Kirkwood has taken both timeouts. Coach Champagne and company have taken 1. So they do have 1 timeout left. Played off of Van Severen, but backwards. Trying to get a good shot off of that. They do manage to get Cross on the kill. And it is set point for Kirkwood. Played off of Heath. Far side Goggin. Yes. So Richard Bland holds off on one. But need a serve here from Hinshaw. And a bad pass by Cross. Shot there by Meester. Brown rolled off. Van Severen saves. Lambertson sets on this near side. Cross though on the tip. Brown again through the block. Van Severen on another dig. Middle attack. Tegley did not get much on that. The back attack for Heath. Hearn on the up. And Cross kills it and finishes off the set. 25-23. Kirkwood wins the first set of our consolation round. And we'll keep moving forward here against Richard Bland and Kirkwood. Set number 2 coming up here in just a moment as you are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championships on the NJCAA Network. Good offensive battle between two teams, Richard Bland and Kirkwood. And the Eagles come away with the W in that first set, 25-23. Kirkwood Eagles hit 406 in that set, whereas Richard Bland hit 323. Our last match had like 170-some digs combined in that first set between these two teams, 23. Oh, the look on my producer Danny's face when I said that. We had such a defensive battle between Heartland and Illinois Central. Here we're getting the offense going. And if the two teams end up battling just as well offensively, and they hit 400 and 300 again, I'm calling this a Big 12 match. Because Big 12 football don't have a whole lot of defense either most of the time. And away we go. Set 2. Ooh, Leak was mad at herself for that serve receive. Off the net. Richard Bland does get it up and over. Henshaw does a good job with that. Was that I don't know if that was even touched anyway. Would have been either 4 hits or hit the antenna. And Richard Bland leads 1-0. Scipione taking a sweet time with that. And up and out for Hearn. We got the R2 down here walking over talking to Coach Brown about something too. Not sure what that was about. After the point, the referee went over to talk to Brown, not for very long, but made an emphasis on something that she pointed out, and that is long too. Now this sounds reminiscent of the quarterfinal last night, the championship match, where the struggle was real for Kirkwood at the beginning. And that just missing for Scipione. And back to serve will be Hearn. That puts him across back to the front, who had the last point of set 1. Brown way out. No chance for that. Well, do you remember how I just said how offensively minded these two teams are? And now in this set, it's a negative 7-5-0 for Kirkwood and then negative for Richard Bland as well. In fact, Richard Bland is a negative perfect 1,000 because they've had 2 attacks and 2 errors. And lift going to be called on Embertson that time. Pretty clear. Could see that one. And back to service, Sarah Heath. So Richard Bland down 1-0 in the sets. That's 25-23. Kirkwood won the first. Consolation round. Next up, and a great shot there. Meester. Yeah, Scipione and Sarah Heath almost collide. And then Libero Van Severen back to serve. Played off of Heath. And Goggin. What a snap she has, too. Well, sometimes it feels like she's in the air forever and kind of come over the top and everything. And that time it was more just jump, burst, smack. A quick attack snap that she has. And Henshaw with an ace right in front of the sliding Alexi Hearn. So Henshaw back serve. Played off of Hearn. Set for Meester. Goggin again. That time felt like she was in the air forever. Cross over on the far side. Can't put it down. Nearly an overpass. And Goggin. What a save there by Scipione, though, too, at the net. That point goes to Goggin, but it really should go back to the setting. Because that's a play made by Scipione, not Goggin. And that shot is short for Emma Cross. And a timeout by Kirkwood. What a play. Boy, I wish we had replays. I would have loved to see that one-handed save again by Scipione. I guess I never did ask Danny or Zach, if the replay machine ever left Des Moines, Iowa. We found out that during the D3 tournament it was still stuck there. That was a week and a half ago. It might still be there. Well, it is the black hole of Iowa. You can follow all the action of the 2023 NJCAA Volleyball Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to njcaa.org/network to view live and archive video of each game. The NJCAA Network is now available on mobile, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Android TV streaming platforms. The NJCAA Network, the home for NJCAA digital content. I'm allowed to say those things about Des Moines because I'm from Iowa, okay? Don't come at me for any of the things that I say about Iowa. I grew up here. I can say whatever I want. About that, I would not say anything bad about Richard Bland and South Prince, Georgia, Virginia, because I've never been there. I don't have a clue where that even is. I know these teams have traveled a long way to get here. So many of them have. This combined area of the four teams as an ace by Henshaw. I was going to say between the three Iowa schools, DMAC, Iowa Central over on the far side, we've got Kirkwood here. Combine those three travel times is probably not even a third of what Richard Bland had to take to get here. As that is into the net. I'm about guarantee you that. And that is off of Heath. And set. Ooh, I like that sneak attack too, as Mitchell pops up and gets that. And an ace. And boy, Richard Bland coming out, 12-6 lead. 5 aces now for Richard Bland after back-to-back by Brown. And a double block. Saved, though, by Tegler. Brought across by Hearn. And that shot missed by Goggin. Good job by Kirkwood to keep that alive. 100% correct. About a 16-hour drive for Richard Bland to get here. It'll be about a 10-minute drive for Kirkwood because they're right over on about 15 minutes away, maybe 10 minutes away. We're in Cedar Rapids. As that is up and out. And as I said, DMAC, they're over at Ankeny, Iowa, and they're 2 hours away, and Fort Dodge is about 2 hours away as well. Maybe 3 total. So combine them, and that's about 6 hours. Goggin. There's those mistakes that keep crawling back up. They keep creeping for Richard Bland. Kirkwood hit 406 in the first set. They're at negative 300 right now. 4 errors, 1 kill thus far. Henshaw calls everybody off on a free ball. And Hearn. Yes. Just the second kill for Kirkwood. Richard Bland hitting 125 in this set. 4 kills, 3 errors. In the match still, both teams hitting well over 250, and we have another ace serve. This is for Tegler. And so Kirkwood trimming into the lead, and Coach Champagne calling a timeout. 13-10 our score. Richard Bland leading as the Kirkwood Eagles. And Dave Brown taking over for Coach Williams. We talked about that yesterday. 7-7 on against qualifying teams coming into the tournament. And a big blocking team. Well, the blocking philosophy for Coach Brown, he said, is less about working to get a block kill and more to take a designated space away from the hitter. We work to make hitters feel uncomfortable. However, we are always looking for positive touches, is what Coach Brown said. He said, honestly, it's just a big bonus if we get the kill block, or the block kill. And, you know, I hit on it too. I stressed it in my email to him. I worried about their serving errors. Came up yesterday against Scottsdale. Scottsdale is just so fundamentally sound. We talked about it last night. Parkland's going to have to do the same thing tonight. You have to be fundamentally sound to beat the Fighting Artichokes. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Heath finds the floor on the timeout. Schlegeter back in. I was told Schlegeter, so that's how I'm saying it. That's how I was told by Coach Dryden. She was a transfer from Catawba Valley. Found out that they had canceled their program for Jordan, and that's why she ended up making the change and coming over to Richard Bland. She dials in on the energy, or on the little things, and she's an energy guru, is what Coach Champagne mentioned about her number 9. Kind of a backup setter, Jordan, from Lenore, North Carolina. Probably butchered that name. Back to serve will be Embretson. Mr. Dunavant in two for Richard Bland. So Coach Champagne going with a little bit different lineup too, as Goggin. And that's the stuff that for Kirkwood last night, they were getting some touches. How about 0 blocks right now from both sides? No blocks in that first set. Almost halfway through the second set, and we have yet to have a block. Now, that doesn't mean that the teams aren't getting tips. They are, but no one's got a point off of it. And there's Scipione skipping into her group after an ace. And those are mounting up. Richard Bland with 7 aces, 4 errors. Back to serve. Once again, Scipione. Played off Leak. Meester. Well, I thought we had a whistle. That was on the far side. And so Meester gets that point from Mount Vernon, Iowa. Second team all-region. Extremely consistent. Hits over 300 most nights. The pillar of the offense is what Coach Brown called Meester. And back to serve is Hearn. And Heath. Seriously, both. Now Kirkwood's at zeros. Richard Bland ticking up towards 364 for their hitting. Not sure if that would be in or not for Meester, but it was played regardless. Cross. That was saved by Brown. Good job. Smart play. And that hit the antenna. So Cross misses that. Individual-wise, Goggin at 10, Heath at 8. Both hitting well over 400. Meester at 5, Morrison Cross at 4. And that's a Meester push. And it works, finding the floor. And back to serve the libero, Lily Van Severen. Davenport Assumption was her high school in Iowa, and that's into the net. Henshaw to serve for Richard Bland. An overpass. And Mitchell tails off for her third. And she's a perfect 3-4-3. And Richard Bland, this is probably the best set that I have seen out of them in the entire tournament. 20-13, and they're hitting 385 for Coach Champine's group. Richard Bland, the defending champs, as we talked about. They're also big in the beach volleyball. I believe they made nationals last year for that. All they need to do now is get Coach Dryden on for for men's volleyball then. You might as well have all three programs going on. They got beach. Got to hear a little bit about men's volleyball from D3 coaches. There's several D3 coaches in the women's bracket that take care of the men's. That is something that I've really never covered, is boys or men's volleyball. I know it's a growing sport. That's getting more and more popular. State that I live in now, Wisconsin, does have a boys volleyball tournament. Here in the state of Iowa, I don't even think it's a recognized sport. I got to tell you, if that was available when I was in high school, I would have totally played volleyball. I didn't play football. I didn't go out for basketball, although I wanted to. Like basketball, probably the best to play. I probably would have played volleyball. So pretty neat that continues to grow. Of course, the volleyball on its own, the women's sport, continues to gain momentum. Love to see the population of it grow. That's Henshaw. Short serve, a little too short, off the net. We talked about the growth of the program, or of volleyball, and how it's become, into the promised land of nationwide broadcasts as Mitchell pounds again from the middle. Her fourth. And how Nebraska had, 100-some thousand watching volleyball. Millions of people watching Nebraska and Wisconsin. Probably going to get another million plus to watch it again when it happens. The national tournament getting broadcasted on ESPN. That's two-touch call. On Kirkwood. And even here, Kayleen was up here earlier talking with us from the NJCAA, explaining why the tournament she's one of the championship assistants, and I was asking a little bit about, what changed with the format? Why did the D2 go to, as I called it, the wrestleback constellation, as Mitchell kills? And Kaylin mentioned that 60 more programs joined D2, either dropped from D1 or bumped up from D3. And so the D2 is the largest, and they needed to expand the tournament. So they go to 20 teams instead of 16. As that goes out, there was set point. And to wrap a bow on it, the consolation has been fantastic. I love the fact that a team can get knocked out in the first round but work their way all the way back to third. There's such balance and competitive nature in D2, and we saw it on display here. Richard Bland lost the first set 25-23 and comes back and wins the second 25-15. We'll take the timeout as well. Tied 1 apiece. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA network. Richard Bland cranked it up in that second set. 500 is what Richard Bland hit in that set. They held Kirkwood to negative .056. They win the set 25-15. And Richard Bland hitting .383 in the set, or in the match, pardon me, and Kirkwood .240. Heath trying to get the first point for Richard Bland. Goggin on a dig, an overpass, but yet it still worked out. As Scipione just got a solo block. He come in just with 24 blocks in the entire season. I can't imagine too many of those were solos. They mainly block assists. And that one missing. Near side for Lexi Hearn. Was that a first block? That was a first block. That was the first block of the match, and it comes to the setter. A triple block there for Meester. Cutter out for Meester on the far side. Let's try to go at the middle. Denied. Worked her way over to the far side, and that didn't work either. Richard Bland seems to have more confidence coming into this set after what they were able to perform in set two. Van Severen going down to get that. Henshaw on the dig. And Heath. Van Severen on a great dig. Heath again. Working over on that far side. Come off of Meester. And a 4-0 lead for Richard Bland. And if you're a Kirkwood Eagle fan, you got to be wondering if we put this thing on repeat or if we've changed teams and it's still Scottsdale from last night. Because these opening holes is the same thing that happened yesterday, as that's Lexi Hearn giving Kirkwood their first point in set 3. We are tied 1 set each. 25-23 was our first set. That went to Kirkwood. Goggin on a back set. No chance. Right into the net. Hearn back to serve once again. So they're really looking at Brown mishits there. Team was asking for maybe a touch. Coach Champagne says, no, I'm not going to challenge. Stays with the call, and Heath rolls right off of Van Severen. And boy, when you need one, Richard Bland's going to go to her. That's her 10th. Goggin has 10. Mitchell has 5. Kirkwood, they get 6 kills from Meester, 4 from Morris, Hearn, and Cross. Tegler has 3. And a double block up front kept Gaffney from getting a kill. Far side, Goggin jumping at the 10-foot line. And that works out for Meester. That went off the double block. And Richard Bland couldn't find it. So 5-4. So again, a slow start for Coach Brown's group, but find themselves down just by a point. Make that 2 because of the serving line. I believe Iowa Central has won the first 2 over DMAC over that far side. Henshaw, the libero, got touched off. And a kill for Kirkwood. We have not talked about Henshaw much. Great job learning the position. At club ball, she was an outside hitter. Loved her ball control, saw the potential. She had 23 digs in the regional match. Where Richard Bland beat Cape Fear 3-2. And Brown back to serve. So Richard Bland leading by 2, match tied 1-1. Guaranteed a 4th here on court number 1. And that misses long. The shot for Cross. The semifinal scheduled for 4 o'clock. We'll see if we can stay on schedule for that. And then our final will be back here in the consolation. One more time at 6. Heath, back set, and Van Severen got to go over to the bench of Kirkwood. So Richard Bland started out getting a 5-0 run. Kirkwood has responded. I know, I believe it's a 3-0 run. Maybe 5. Or 4, pardon me, 4-0 run. We should have got that on camera. The reflexes I just showed. That was 6-5. So 4-0 run for Richard Bland. And out. For Brown. Late to serve for Kirkwood. Playing off of Heath. Goggin, yes. Huge swing for Leilani Goggin and Richard Bland. Her and Heath teaming up for 22. And an ace serve for Goggin as well. And another timeout for Coach Brown. 9 aces, 7 errors for Richard Bland, 4 aces, 7 errors for Kirkwood. Richard Bland adding 357 in the match. 2:22 here in set number 3. And Kirkwood is in the negatives for the second straight set. And double uptime here in set number 3, and Coach Brown and company. These slow starts. Remember, they rallied back in set number 1 against Scottsdale, and our only ties were at 24 and 25. Yeah, but I mean, you exert yourself so much when you fall so fast. 5-0, 5-1, 6-1. Whatever the case may be. And then you're giving up the run. Because this is another one for Richard Bland and the Statesman. So, yeah, this was 6-5. So this is a 6-1 run for Richard Bland. Leak on the return. Morris can't put it down. Battle at the net, won by Heath. Kirkwood sets. 2-touch. Look at a 7-1 run. Goggin on the line drive. Leak. Saved by Hearn before it hit the chairs. Free ball by Kirkwood. And Sarah Heath having to work around the block. Wasn't the best setup, but it ended up working out over the block. And the run continues for Richard Bland at an 8-1. And into the net. And back to serve is Alyssa Tegler. Benton High School is her she's from Blairstown, Iowa. There's Tegler. Set far side. Heath again. That was tipped. Official on the far side ruled it right away with his with his flag. Sarah Heath. Looking to see if they'll update that right away. Her 13th. Big block there. Gaffney getting that middle block. Last year she was a right side player, moved to the middle. Coach Brown said she embraced the change. Not getting as many swings, more of a defensive weapon. On the blocks, it's worked out. Had 116 blocks total coming into the tournament. Heath on the line shot. And Embertson could not get a dig on that. And that's the thing about Richard Bland here in this particular match. They gained some confidence the way that they played in set 2. And it's definitely carrying over into set 3. As that for Goggin goes kind of sideways. Goggin will free ball. Excellent pass there by Van Severen. Set up Meester. But it still works out as Dunavant. So Dunavant with that kill. Tipped over by Meester. I don't think that was touched. No, it was not. That last point for Richard Bland threw off even the live stats. They gave Sarah Heath that kill and Leilani Goggin the set. It was actually the assist came from Heath. Another line shot. Sarah Heath is in the zone. It is her court right now, and we're just all embracing and watching it. And then into the net. 18-10. And Kirkwood, when they got sparks last night against Scottsdale, it came off blocks. And today, one block for Kirkwood. They got numerous ones off. Oh boy, that's way out. Numerous blocks on Scottsdale, and just the blocking today has not been there for the Kirkwood Eagles. And Richard Bland only has one block too. But when your offense is playing that well, as Brown goes up and over the block of Kirkwood. And for Kirkwood, again, 6th best in Division II coming in, so we expect a big blocking team. As Henshaw has that go off the net and then out of bounds on this near sideline. So you got to feel like that's what Kirkwood needs to energize themselves. As a big defensive play or something like that. And they just have yet to manufacture any of that today as Goggin plants one to the floor. And back to serve is Jaden Brown. And Coach Brown moving parts around on his side. As I heard Sidney Mathias planted over into the rotation. It's got to be free ball though. Mathias is on the other side. Goggin through the double block with 4 hits. And 21 to 12, pardon me. And Coach Brown did have one more timeout, and he'll utilize it now. As Richard Bland is absolutely rolling here in set number 3. Stats show it too. 12 kills, 5 errors, hitting .318. Kirkwood still a negative .059. And a .362 hitting percentage for Richard Bland in the match. And 164 for Kirkwood. And there you go. You got your Kirkwood coaching staff all huddled up discussing things. And Coach Brown is asking about the time, as I don't know if it ever ran. And then you got the DJ playing Sweet Caroline. And he turned it down. Now he's turning it back up. Will anybody do it? That's what I'm wondering about. Will anybody do it? Nope, not really. Nope. think we missed the mark on that one today. Maybe later. 21-12. Our score, Richard Bland leading in the third set, won the second one, 25-15. Kirkwood feels like quite a while ago when they won that first set, 25-23. Goggin, that block goes out. So there you have Tegler and Morris jumping up, trying to get a block, and unable to get one that lands in bounds. So the block error. Into the net. And back is Maggie Leak to serve. And Matthias has stayed out there to run the offense for Kirkwood. Mitchell, yes. The middle for Mitchell. Michaela Mitchell is hitting .857. She has 6 kills, no errors. And it's at .375 for Richard Bland in this set. Their hitting percentage. And that is up and out. In a bird's eye look, our cameras won't be able to pick them up, but the Pensacola State Pirates down below as they are eager to play their semifinal. There's an ace serve by Tegler. Oh, I don't know if that one been in or out. Leak played it anyway. And that works off for Hearn. So that's this is exactly what Kirkwood needs to do. You got to chip away and then see if you can get some momentum heading into set 4. As Heath completely mishit that and still found an opening in the Kirkwood defense. And it's set point. And Phoebe Heath will serve. Set point for Richard Bland. Leak on the pass. Far side Morris. Yes. 24-17. Kirkwood fights off the first set point, but they'll need a lot more out of Embretson. Served up to Heath. Leak saved that. Free ball up and over by Kirkwood. And Heath off of Meester's block, and that's it, 25-17. Richard Bland wins the third and takes a 2-1 lead. 25-17 and 25-15 were the last two sets. 25-23, Kirkwood won that first set. We go to the fourth in just a moment. Our consolation continues. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship here on the NJCAA Network. Richard Bland 25-17, 25-15. And the wins of sets 3 and 2. And Kirkwood won the first set 25-23. And we'll start with Kirkwood with a 1-0 lead here as Scipione misses. Kirkwood was in danger of going negative in the last 2 sets. They hit negative .056 in the second. They hit a positive, but only .048 in the third. Richard Bland at a 393. And Severin getting an up on that. But then denied up at the attack for Cross as Sarah Heath comes away with just our second block of the match. Roll shot there off of Meester's for the block on Meester, and come right back then is Leilani Goggin. I was laughing because, again, I had mentioned how many digs we had in that last set. The last match we had was about a combined 160, somewhere around there, something like that. Here in this match, we've played 3 sets, and we don't even have 50 digs total. 29 for Richard Bland, 21 for Kirkwood. The defenses just have not been able to shine in this particular match. It's been all offense. And Richard Bland has had the horses, mainly because Heath has 18 kills and Goggin with 15, and they're both hitting over 400. Mitchell has 6 kills, and she's hitting over 800. And over on the other side, Iowa Central has swept DMAC. What was a rematch of their district final. So Iowa Central awaits the winner of this. And for Richard Bland there, a set away. Goggin went for the tip. Free ball by Kirkwood. Goggin slams. And you could see on the ground Lexi Hearn, who had made a nice defensive effort on that last hit prior to the kill for Goggin, and had come back up, and she looked exhausted. Ooh. And a misset there by Scipione. Tegler went with an off-speed. Heath with the back attack. Meester can't. Well, she does. Meester with the kill. Question whether she was going to get that or not. She did. And she has to serve. Oh, an overpass. And Richard Bland did a great job defending that. Oh, boy. Cross and Tegler. Is that the second time we've seen that, where somebody tried to leapfrog somebody else? I don't think that was in this match. A different match. Seen that twice today then. Just miscommunication. We got Sarah Horn on the other side. For Iowa Central sitting down. I don't know if you can see her in the. Yeah, you can't right now. And that works out for Tegler. And Maggie Lee. Blocked. And an overpass. And Tegler. And 5-5. Serving for Mitchell, blocked. And maybe that'll get things going for Kirkwood. Just their second block of the match, our fourth total. Maybe that'll energize Coach Brown's group. Because I think the last two sets, they've been on a little bit of a roller skates. And Goggin getting that kill. And too long on the serve. 7-6. Tegler serving. Kirkwood up by 1. And Heath, what a cutter. The hardest shot in volleyball, I think, to make. 10-foot line, 10-foot line crosser. Lageter back to serve. And an overpass on that serve. Richard Bland going right back with Heath, but can't kill it off. Timing off, and Gaffney had to free ball it. And Heath works off of Gaffney's block to get that point. And into the net, though. First Lageter. Back and forth we go with this tie here in set number 4. I just feel like, again, the momentum with what Richard Bland was able to do the last 2 sets, and for Kirkwood to come out and play as well as they have here in set 4, give them a lot of credit. And 2 touch call. The offense has slowed down. Well, the offense has gotten better for Kirkwood. They're at 111. Richard Bland, 357 in this set. Embretson serving. Line drive serve. Donovan couldn't get that down. Played off of Hearn. Meester, yeah. Oh, they caught out. Goggin was diving for it, but luckily she didn't hit it. Seeing some Parkland Cobra fans coming in, checking this one out as their Cobras will be in the semifinal over on the other side coming up. We have Cali and Pensacola State. And back to serve will be Hearn. Set far side, and Heath blocked off of her face. I don't know if she didn't expect that or what, but Gaffney with the block. (11-9). Kirkwood leading, and is that on? Yes, that block stayed over on the Statesman side. Another short serve. Played off the net and free balled up and over by Richard Bland. Meester blocked. Hearn could not get to that. Side cross. Got back over Kirkwood. Meester. That's a lift. Donovan, I think they called it for 2 hits. So not even a lift. She hit it, and then she hit it again. Just swinging her arm out. And Van Severin back to serve. A quick middle attack. And a 2-touch call on Embretson. Mitchell subs in, pardon me. She didn't shove her way onto the court. She walked on. And back to service Hinshaw. And that works out for Emma Cross. Kirkwood Eagles, the co-champs of the ICAC, Iowa Community College Athletic Conference. And Richard Bland, that Region 10 East Division. They're part of that. Got 10-1 in the region. Both trying to work out a consolation and play one more time tonight as they would play Iowa Central. Oh, what a diving play there by Brown. And Cross with her best swing of the day. By far, absolutely mauled that ball. And a little bit of a statement kill there for the Eagles. And a timeout by Richard Bland as they've fallen back to earth. Hitting 150 here in the 4th set. Kirkwood hitting .067. This tournament wide open, knew it would be. As Kirkwood was the number 4 rated team in the country in Division II coming into the tournament. However, they lost the district. They lost in the semifinals against Iowa Central. And for Richard Bland, they're rated 8th and come in as the 9th seed, winning their region over Cape Fear 3-2. You kind of reward those that win a district, maybe seeded or maybe rated a little bit lower, but then seeded a little bit higher because of their district win. The wild card seed a little bit lower because you get. I mean, it's not really a punishment, but you do have to reward the teams that win districts. And I like the wild cards, that's for sure. Kirkwood, one of them. Heartland. DMAC. DMAC's gone. Gulf Coast State already gone. DMAC just lost to Iowa Central again. And so their season is over with. We got 3 out of the 4 at-large bids gone in this tournament as Van Severin digs that up. Hearn can't put it down. Goggin blocked. Morris, Tegler. I'm not sure what. There was a little talk after that block by our official down below, our R2, referee 2, about that. I don't know if it was a celebration or what. As that was blocked on Mitchell, but kept alive by Richard Bland. And Goggin tried the old roll shot, and that didn't work. And Kirkwood leads by 5. hit the jet stream here at the Alliant Energy Powerhouse for Maggie Leake. Up and out. And for Goggin out of Fort Defiance, Wayers Cave, Virginia. Converted back to 6 rotation after last year. And she's also switched from outside to middle, back to outside, and Mitchell. Well, you got to think there's big things to come from the second team all-region. Had to learn aggressive and fearless, improved greatly. And with another off season, you got to think that Coach Champagne is going to unleash their 6'3 product out of Clarksburg, Maryland next year. And an ace serve by Goggin. Boy, I did not realize how many errors we've had at the service line. It does not feel like this, but Richard Bland has had 17 serving errors. That's 17 points. That's what Kirkwood has on the scoreboard in this set. And Mitchell blocks on the attempt for Tegler. So 10 aces for Richard Bland, but 17 errors at the service line. Kirkwood about the same on the ratio. 5 service errors and 9 serving errors. We've had a total of 69 digs in this match. If they get to 5 sets, they won't even match. They might not match the total that Illinois Central had in digs just as a team in our last match, where Illinois Central nearly had 100 digs in one match. 49 kills for Richard Bland. 310 is what they're hitting. Kirkwood, 32 kills, 152. 20 kills for Sarah Heath up front. She's hitting 350. Leilani Goggin, 18. She's hitting 387. And Mitchell, who has 7 kills and just 1 error, is only hitting a paltry 600, you know. Skippy only has 45, I joke. 45 assists. Sarah Heath also has 2. Pardon me. Sarah Heath also has 3 blocks. On the other side for Kirkwood, 2 blocks apiece for Gaffney, Tegler, and Morris. Meester leads the way with 9 kills. Assist-wise, Embertson, 15. Leake getting that up. And Hearn with the push. Heath, crosser, Van Severen digs. Tegler up and out. And we're tied back at 17. Set 4. Kirkwood won the first set, 25-23, but Richard Bland, 25-15, 25-17 the last 2. And an ace serve. For Goggin. Goggin, that'll give her 5. And it's a 6-0 run for Richard Bland. Morris can't finish it off on an amazing dive by Goggin. Morris goes with the crosser. This time will work. Brown goes into the net. The separator in between the 2 courts. And that'll stop the 6-0 run by Richard Bland. Back to serve, Tegler. Morris blocked, and nobody takes. Leake standing there as well as Matthias. Schlegiter back to serve. Could be an ace. And, well, it's the 3 hits. So give her the ace. And a timeout by Kirkwood. Richard Bland 5 points away. And what a run the Statesmen are on here in set 4. Kirkwood looked like they had all the momentum. And the next thing you know, Goggin steps up to the service line when it was 12-16. And an 8-2 run. And now Kirkwood finds themselves down by 2 and needing this to force the 5th. I'm dropping keys and everything else. So did I. I heard something over here. My cameraman's helping me out. I'm dropping car keys. Leave the pickup here, apparently. My father-in-law would not be thrilled. 20-18. That Heath crowd, there's the family, the Heath family is down below. They're on the first row below us. I know we can't get a shot of them. But they're the ones yelling if you can hear the RB. And that hits the antenna for Hearn over there. 21-18. Our score. Richard Bland 4 points away. Hearn again. It's timing up on the dig. Heath goes backwards. Leak camps underneath of it. Van Severen free balls. Heath again. Van Severen on a great dig. Hearn. I'm not sure what her shot selection was on that particular hit. Oh, she was trying to go off of a block and just misfired or what? Under the net. So Schneeder for Richard Bland on that serving error. Cali Tigers down by the corridor, getting ready. They're to my left as our semifinal coming up soon. Embertson to serve. And an overpass on Sarah Heath. Don't see that very often. Our semifinal scheduled for 4 o'clock. Shorter serve for Embertson. Heath comes up, works around the double block. Oh, it hit the head. Meester. Embertson was behind her. And so was Leak trying to back up. And came off of her head. I don't think she realized it. That was actually her second touch. So 23-20. Richard Bland, 2 points away. Meester, yes. Hearn to serve. Over to Heath. And a one-hand set for Scipione. And Goggin, nothing worked out there for Richard Bland. Coach Champagne got to call a timeout. She had looked over, thought about it. Now does take the timeout. So 23-22. Our score, Richard Bland leading 2-1 in the match against Kirkwood. Our final consolation for now, not for the day though, of this particular round. And then we have the quarterfinals later tonight. 6 o'clock. Illinois Central and Johnson County on this court. Winner of this takes on Iowa Central over on court number 2. Court number 1 has Parkland versus Scottsdale for the semifinals. And that'll be coming up at 4 o'clock. We have Cali and Pensacola State. And you talk about 2 different paths for our semifinal. the number 12 seed versus the 1 seed. Upset for the Pirates last night, a sweep over Johnson County. Read somewhere on Twitter about, oh, that's only an upset for those that put the committee together and for the seeding. All I have to say about that is if anybody has a problem with the committee and the seeding for this one, good luck. Because I don't know how you'd seed this thing. D2 is so competitive, so balanced. I think that was off of the head of Dunavant. And tied up 23s. Hearn back to serve again. Three 0 run for Kirkwood. And an overpass. Oh, just missed. Oh, my goodness. For Gaffney. Couldn't have been any easier. And you got Sarah Heath going back to serve for Richard Bland. Match point. Van Severen. And it's an ace serve by the All-American. And Sarah Heath and the Richard Bland Statesmen oust Kirkwood 3-1. And Richard Bland advances to play Iowa Central later on in the consolation quarters. Richard Bland hits .062, and for the second set of the match, Kirkwood hit a negative. 290, there you go. There's some dancing and prancing for Richard Bland. 290 is what Richard Bland hit. They had 50 kills, 42 digs, 5 blocks. Kirkwood, 35 kills, .115 is what they hit. 6 aces and 36 digs, 4 blocks. Sarah Heath, 21 kills, 2 aces. She also had 12 digs and 4 blocks. She had 25 points in the match. Leilani Goggin, 18, hit .344 and also had 4 aces. And Michaela Mitchell had 7. Scipione had 46 assists as well. Emma Meester, 10. Emma Cross, 8. Ava Morris, 6. Hearn, 5. Tegler, 5. And that'll do it for Kirkwood's season. And what a successful season it was for Coach Brown and company. We make mention of their sophomores quick, of Avery Dusterhoff, Allison Bonnet, Grace Embretson, Ava Morris, Lexi Hearn, Emma Cross, Sophie Gaffney, Alyssa Tegler, and Addie Grimm. That's a big group leaving the program for Coach Brown. He'll have a year for himself now to recruit and see what he can bring in, since he was not able to recruit last year. We have to move on. Our semifinal. That's what we have next. Pensacola State, Cali. Number 1 versus number 12. Richard Bland wins 3-1, keep their season alive. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network.